Hello, my name is Kyrie, and today we're going to look at my DustForce level. I made a DustForce level in the past, and the goal for that level was mostly set design and kind of telling a story. So I thought this time I'd do something a little more related to DustForce, where it's mostly about the flow of the level, and this is just kind of the overview of my goals. Like I said, I just wanted to make it more about the actual gameplay than just telling a story. My audience would be anyone interested in more of a challenge, so most likely older gamers. That's kind of that. Story would be minimal, that's what it says here. Gameplay, I wanted to kind of implement something that they use in the Mario levels where they introduce a gimmick or challenge and then they just build off of that challenge, and then there's like a break. I just kind of took that idea and did it 3 times and connected the level that way. Show that in the paper map. Visual audio, again, minimal, just nothing to detract too much from the gameplay. A little bit extra effects, just things I couldn't do in the past that I can do now from experience. So that's kind of that. Asset list, I just need the engine. Feature list is just the engine. So these are the paper maps. This is what they look like. And yeah, just zoom in for you. And yes, this is the paper map. So general idea, you have the players start, they come slide down here, they hit 1 enemy to make it to the next ramp, and it's just kind of that escalation. Now you get 3 enemies, now you have a special moving enemy. This has definitely changed in the final product, but I just thought I'd show where I started. And then of course there's spikes, so that if you mess up any of these jumps, you die and you're back to the start. This is ramp here is for a break in the player's movement, which I'll show on the map. And there's keys to kind of section off, at least for me, and maybe the player will pick up on it. The second part, the next challenge. So the first one has the ramps. This one's about avoiding the spikes while going under these pillars, and it just kind of repeats that over and over. And then it gets harder and harder. It's the same thing with this one, pretty much. And there's a checkpoint there, so that if you die, that's where you'll start. And you come down here into the third part. And this one combines the first 2 parts. So you got the ramps and you got the going under the spikes and wall jumping and stuff. And then this gives you a small break before it hits you with the longest, pretty much the longest time you're going to be in the air. That's kind of how it works, and that's the finish. You just break a block at the end. Okay. This just shows the critical path. It's pretty simple for this. And yeah, so let's zoom back out and minimize that. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to let the music play. It's a little loud, so I'm probably going to turn it down. So come in here, rubber down here. And the music should play when I go back in. Yeah, you can hear it. Okay. So this is the level. I'm just going to try to play through it real quick to show you like a normal run, and then at the end I'll try to do a finish run where I do it all in one go. It's a little difficult, which is, again, the point. It's supposed to be at the end of the game if it wasn't in a series of levels. So here we go. Here. Get this going. So see, get the escalation. Here, get a small break for just these ramps. It's key. And you jump over here. It's not good. Okay, now in the second part of the challenge, I'll just show the death flipper. So you respawn at the checkpoint. Okay. From here, get an enemy. This one you push the block. Come right here, and then you get the mastery, I guess is what you call it. Right here, the key, and then third part. Again, there's a checkpoint there to show you. Here. This is an optional challenge route. Should have showed the regular one. So that's for the more experienced players, which actually I'll start right now to show you. The regular route is this. I'll mess it up. Still difficult, but not as difficult. You don't have to stay in the air as much. Just jump. And go back over here. This. Here. This is the regular route. Oh. Again. again. Here. Oh, well, I messed up. Here. Again. I messed up here. Alright. Last time. This. Oh wow. Mess it up. This is difficult. Last one. There we go. Oh man. So like I said, it does get difficult. It's the hardest part. It's the very one. Just gonna cheat a little bit here just to show the part. You know, we'll come back at the end anyway. There we go. Oh wow. There we go. Okay. That's the end. Thumbs up. We'll upgrade because I set over from there. Okay. This back where it belongs. Alright, so it's the beginning of the level. It's kind of interesting aesthetic with the blocks, which is trying to experiment. But I could do with still making it minimal. Just the moons in the back for decoration, and there's just a rain. So then, yeah, so you get the first ramp, and you start with an enemy. Kind of introduce the concepts. Initially, this was a little bit closer together, and players could double jump, but I decided to take it out just so to communicate the actual challenge for the level, so that people don't accidentally double jump and kind of miss the point there. And then the dust here and here, and you'll see it everywhere, kind of just to guide the general type of movements you should be doing. You kind of want to get the full momentum by getting this curve here, and you want to land about here. So this is the next part of the challenge, is 3 and an enemy, and go here, and come up here, same thing, but now there's 2 enemies, so it's just a little bit harder. And then you come down and the normal path. That's why I'll explain these orange paths. So I wanted to add a little bit extra for those who wanted it, a little bit extra challenge. So I had these orange paths to kind of indicate that this is a challenge route. It's not necessarily the intended route, but if you take it, you'll save time and the flow will go a lot faster. So usually you'll drop down here and kind of skip these ramps and this key here, and instead you have to come under. So you're also opting to skip this checkpoint, so it becomes a lot harder, but you're gaining a lot of speed for doing this if you can do it correctly. So I'll show at the end, and then we come to the second part of the level. This is where that checkpoint is, and that door you open the key. So you come slide down here again, hit this, come in here. As you notice, it's all blue. This isn't not orange like the challenge rooms. And you have an enemy. Come here, it kind of starts a very similar way. Enemy, you get a little bit of a break here because you get just a regular block. The difference is you're coming out of a wall jump instead of sliding down. So then you come up here, you get the next slide, and you get the mastery, which is right here. Is probably the hardest part, is getting over here and then realizing that to keep your momentum the best is to glide over, not actually land here, but you can land here if you need a break. And then You come up here, do these jump, get the second key, just kind of make the door a little smoother. You don't actually need this key. So you come down here, you drop into the checkpoints, and this is where the music should change. When you hit this trigger right here, this green one, we'll change the music to the end of the level music, I guess. And again, you have the dust here to kind of guide and keeping this aesthetic up, but orange again to indicate the challenge part's coming up, or you can just skip it and go this way. So that's this part, and so see you kind of drop down and then hit this. You're still going under the spikes. You're doing the ramp and you're going under the spikes. So both the concepts from before. You come in here, 2 enemies. It's a little tight, but you can do it. Enough practice, and then here another ramp into a wall jump under spikes, and that'll take you to this break part. And then this is a small break I put in here purposely so that you're not just going from this into something like this, so it's a little crazy. So that's the finish over there, and then the challenge part, you see it generally takes the same path, but again it saves time. And if you do it perfectly, you'll actually go over this ramp and land here, and it just saves a lot of time. So you come up here, hit this, over here, another enemy. This is kind of like a long jump, so it's a little bit of a different challenge, but it's the same timing challenge, just a little bit spaced out. And then you come here, and we have the orange part, which again, this part saves time, but this part you actually gain dust, so it's a little bit of a different choice. But if you have a max dust, you can just kind of break these and beat the level faster, because it's like it gives you the special attack. So this is the normal way. It's kind of in the air, at least with playtesting. I couldn't tell exactly which way was harder to do this jump and make this spot, or here where you actually get more of a break. You just have to hit enemies instead. So it's a little, the challenge is very similar, I would say, with the two. It's just that this one, it's just like kind of a different challenge. So then you come up here, and then you end with the enemies as the full mastery, and you land here. Or you should land here. If you die, then it'll respawn you and you'll drop down. And yeah, that's the level for the most part. Any challenges? I'd say probably the hardest thing was just getting the spacings and the timings of certain things correct. So like here, if you get the key, most of the time you'll actually land here as it's opening, which is, it just looks cool. So it's like a nice feeling, I think, for the player. And then figuring out how hard it should be, because I was trying to make it as difficult as I could without making it frustrating. And again, from playtesting, it looked like it wasn't super frustrating, but it was difficult. Not many people finished it. And yeah, that's pretty much the level for the most part. So yeah, I'll just try to end this. I'll just try to do the dream run, but as you can see, I'm not playing super well, so we'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching and tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys later. Just try to finish this now. The second jump. Just do easy part. Messed it up. So as you can see, it is difficult. At least for me. Maybe someone watching is better. Most likely. Okay, we'll jump. Okay, got it. Ooh. Okay, we should take a small break. Could have did that there, but I was playing it safe. And here. Okay. Oh, got me. Okay. do one more. Oh man, okay. I'll just do a separate video. I'll try to do it. So this one isn't too long. Thanks for watching.